So welcome to another little tutorial here. I'm gonna make a meme, yellow brick road dabbing. Um, while you watch this, keep in mind that this was recorded before and I'm putting vocals over it right now. So when I actually designed it, I didn't go that slow. I was recording, but I wasn't in the mindset of explaining yet. So we'll get through this, we'll iron out the kinks. And I appreciate you dealing with it. But this is me bringing in the yellow brick road, and if you look in the bottom left of the screen, it's going to show you what I'm pushing on my keyboard and stuff. See, I made it see-through. That's the opacity. Your 1 through 0 can control that on your keyboard. 5 being middle, 1 being faint, and 0 being 100% solid. And what I did there too is I hit Control, and when you grab one of the nodes, the controls, and hit Control, it lets you change the perspective. And here I'm transform warp. I'm using the transform warp tool. It's pretty cool. It lets you bend it, and I'm trying to get the bricks to flow with the wax there. So yeah, what I want you to understand is, I don't do these tutorials because I'm trying to teach you how to sound smart, or I'm trying to, it's basically, I love designing. I've been doing it since 1995, and very fortunate to work with a lot of cool brands and do a lot of cool stuff. And there's a million ways to design. There's 100 ways to crop something. There's no wrong way. It's basically, if when it's done you like it, then you're good. You won. And if you're doing it for a client and they like it, then dope. That's all that matters, is if you're happy. So I'm using the erase tool, and you could see again, look at the bottom left corner, is showing you kind of what I'm pushing. Lots of shortcuts and stuff. It's cool. Photoshop is awesome. And Control plus or negative to zoom in and out. And remember, I'm on a PC. So in these videos, I have a bunch of pre-recorded videos that I'm going to talk over. I'll probably get into some of my experiences, with clients and being freelance, and some of my mistakes. And I guess my goal is to show you my process and let you see just another perspective and give you some insight. There's tons of technical videos out there that'll teach you fancy words and this and that, but I'm just kind of having fun with it. We'll see what it turns into. I'm thankful you're here, and hopefully you learn something. So here I bring in this Emerald City image, and I'm going to show you. I click that tool, and I'm going to come over and start cutting. That's usually how I cut stuff out, and I'm not being precise because it's a meme. If this were product packaging, I'd get in there and be a little more anal. But here we are. I skip forward. It's cut out. I'm going to cut out this last piece. And if there's a lot of round pieces, I'll use a different tool for cropping. It just depends on what I'm doing. You can see I'm even cutting out part of the city, but it doesn't matter. Oops, and you'll see I'll come over. You can make sure you're on the right layer. You can click on your layers over there in your layer panel. So now my goal is to make it look like that's a part of that dab tool and the wax, and I'm going to lower the opacity, get it on there to where I think it looks good, and then I'm going to make it glow, make it blend and glow. So right there, my Control Z is to go back. Control Shift Z will keep going back. If you hit Control Z, it'll teeter between your moves back and forth. So here I'm kind of feathering out the edge to make it look a little blended. So again, as I'm watching this and I'm narrating it, it's like like Snoop on them Jimmy Kimmel Bimbles, like, oh, for shizzle, look at he about to crop it. But, you know, yeah, so I got it where I wanted. I duplicated it, and now I'm going to give that a color. I sent it to the back, control open bracket. You could see the things, or you could just drag it on your layer panel, or you could, I mean, there's tons of ways to move layers. There's tutorials for that. I'm not going to get into that kind of stuff really right now. Just kind of showing you the process. And so I make it the color I want it, and then I'm going to put an outer glow on it. And then when you move the dialog box, you can see what you're working on. It's real time. So as I move it, you could see that it's giving it an effect. And I'll move the dials until I get the desired effect. And, you know, nobody could teach you that. You're just going to have to play with it. Again, I'm just kind of, this is how I do it. Maybe you'll do it differently. But just, I want you to see. So I'm back to the eraser tool. So yeah, now I'm gonna, okay, I did a sharpen. It was a bit blurry, so I did a sharpen on the whole image. And you could smart sharpen, or you could just hit sharpen. On stuff like this, I'll do sharpen once. Then you be the judge. But if you do it a little too much, it'll get all like crystallized and look funky. So here I'll bring it to 10 man. I'm gonna cut parts of it, and then just to show you my process again. And then there's different ways to do this. Tons of different ways to crop. This is, and I'm being loose with it. But and then I'm gonna jump forward, like Martha Stewart pulling the ham out of the oven. After I get around here, but and you can see as I move the mouse, it moves the screen. So like if you scroll down, it'll move the screen down. I'm not doing anything else. It's pretty cool. And you would work your way all the way around it. It can be kind of tedious. And again, there's a boatload of ways to do this. So I'm not really here to show you that. And so here we go. I pull my turkey out the oven, and it's ready to go. So now I'm going to mess with the smoke. I'm going to use the eraser tool to get the that soft edge, you know. Smoke doesn't have hard lines. Oh, look. I lied. When you're using that, you hit backspace and it'll undo what you did. So here you'll see this is where I use the feather. So I'm going to right click, feather, and 1 to 10. I did a 3. 1 is barely, 2 is a little more, and so on. So I'm going to, looks like I'm going to feather here a little more. You just work your way in until you get the desired effect. And you can see I'm being super loose with it. This is a meme. It depends on what you're doing. So then I'll touch the edges with the eraser tool. Control Z, Control Shift Z, went back twice. Went in a little too far on it. So what I did there was I duplicated the Tin Man, and then I cut because the smoke and the Tin Man were one layer. Control J duplicates on a PC, and then I cropped the smoke, and then now it's two separate pieces, so I can mess with the opacities. You go up there, multiply it, kind of blends it in. It gets rid of the white, and then it's a pretty cool feature on your layers. And actually, after I made this, I came back, and it's not on the video, but I just made the Tin Man a bit bigger because on the meme he was kind of tiny. But you can see I throw him right there on the yellow brick road. Go up and I change that back to normal and make it bigger because you can't see it. You know, it's a process. I don't, like when I started making this, I'd never done this before. I mean, I've used all the tools before, but I never put a Tin Man on a yellow brick road and da-da-da. So, you know, it's trial and error. But you got Control Z, you got your eraser, your buttons. So don't be afraid to experiment. It's all about the process, you know. Just play with it. And you'll see me zoom out often, and that's just getting a look at it all, you know, taking it all in. Again, remember bottom left corner, it's showing you what I'm pressing. Pretty cool. You know, when you go to school, they teach you all the fancy words and what everyone else has done in history and blah, blah, blah. And it's cool. You know, if you're going to go to school, you know, I recommend it. I did after 15 years of designing, and, you know, don't go into debt for it. You know, if you got to take out a student loan and you're going to go into debt, I wouldn't do it. But if someone's going to pay for it, or you get grants or whatever it is, by all means. And here you're going to see the shadowing tools. I don't drop shadows and stuff. I don't use so much. What I did was Control J. I duplicated him, changed the color of him. And most of my drop shadows aren't just black. I'll do a darker color of whatever it is on. So like the yellow brick road, I gave it like that dark kind of golden brownish kind of color. And I think it's more realistic that way. I dig it. And then I used the control key on the controls and just drug it over to where it looked like it was laying on the ground. And then you'll see that I, right there what I did was, you don't have so many controls, so I created an object and grouped it to it, and then, or merged it, and then deleted that object, and then it allows me to play with it a little more. And then here I you know, erase it, give it the, you know, real shadow kind of blends. And so yeah, that's dude chilling on the yellow brick road with his shadow and smoke coming out of his head. And then pausing for a second here. Part of me thinks I should go back and delete that out, but whatever, man. So I bring the logo over. And again, I hope you learned something from this, see some stuff, catch something you didn't know before, or shit, if you know something, I would love to learn too, man. Tell me, and we'll get through this all you know, they'll get better as time goes on. I've been wanting to do it for a while, and I lag because I want it to be perfect, and finally I'm just like, you know what? It's not going to be perfect until I learn and make some mistakes. So like there, I don't just do a drop shadow. I duplicate the layer and then turn it black and then put a blur on it. And I feel like, and then I could go and erase certain parts of it. I feel I have more control. I do all 90% of my drop shadows that way. Because if I were to, like, say I were to erase part of that drop shadow under the G and the O and the M on this logo, it would almost give it perspective, you know. So I just, and you'll learn stuff that you like to do, that you think works for you. And that's cool, you know. I went to school and they tried to tell me I did stuff wrong, and I was like, well, my paychecks say otherwise. So yeah, this is me putting some smoke. Gotta have the smoke, and then I'm just gonna erase right here. And again, you just do it to the desired effect. And so what I did there was I used the crop tool, and when you click on it, it crops everything outside of your canvas. So if your image is hanging over your artboard, your canvas, and you do that, it'll delete that. And right there I messed up. I did image rotation, and it rotated the canvas. So yeah, man, hope you enjoyed it. That's this Dab Smog meme. About to save it, and see you next time. If you go to the YouTube, and if you have any ideas, suggestions, or want to see something, let me know.